We're going to start our unit on sacred text by taking a general look at stories and storytelling. We're going to focus in this video on a guy called Joseph Campbell and something that he called the Monomyth. And we're going to try and do it in under 3 minutes or so strap in. Campbell studied stories from all over the world, particularly those regarded by cultures as being mythological. He identified a series of recognizable patterns and characteristics within these stories and named the structure the hero's journey, or the Monomyth. And it was the journey that he found to be so important. The idea of leaving, adventuring, and then returning. It wasn't just about identifying patterns in stories, however, and this is the important thing I want you to take hold of in our course this term. It was also about identifying the journey within our own lives. To an extent, Campbell saw these hero myths originating in the human psyche. Universal to all humans is the need to find answers. We grow up in different worlds, but we all ask the same questions, and inevitably, we tell the same stories. So, let's have a look at this hero's journey. Campbell originally gave 17 steps, but it's simpler here if we break it down to 12. And before we begin, you need to know that this all takes place in 3 acts and 2 worlds. So the hero begins in the ordinary world, Act 1, but the adventure takes place in the special world, which is Act 2. And when it's all over, the hero returns to the ordinary world, only now it, or they, has changed, Act 3. Already I hope you recognize familiar patterns. So think about Harry Potter, Frodo Baggins, Luke Skywalker, Katniss Everdeen, Jesus, Siddhartha Gautama, Lord Krishna, and let's face it, every single episode of Phineas and Ferb. So let's look at the steps. Step 1 is the ordinary world. It's swiftly followed by a call to adventure, which is often refused until a meeting with a mentor convinces the hero to take the plunge, cross the threshold, and journey into the sacred world. The adventure's begun. There's no going back now. The main part of the journey takes place within this special world. The hero is going to be tested, they're going to meet allies and enemies alike before they approach the Innermost Cave. And this is the biggie. This leads to their greatest fear, their biggest challenge, the boss battle at the end of the level. It's called the Ordeal. Afterwards, when the ordeal has been overcome, the hero receives a reward and takes the road back, crossing back over into the ordinary world. Their return is kind of like a resurrection, and they come back changed, perhaps bringing with them something that will benefit their fellow man. It's called the Elixir. There are obviously plenty of criticisms to the theory. There are criticisms to all theories, not least of which in this case being that Joseph Campbell had some pretty dodgy ideas about culture and particularly the roles of women. But it is a fascinating place to begin a study of sacred texts. Because remember, at the heart of what we're studying is the exploration of the extent to which sacred writings influence lives. And Campbell wrote in a poem called The Hero Path, "We have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero path. And where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a god. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. Where we had thought to travel outwards, we shall come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with all the world." So, my class, your homework is here, somewhere. Get it done. Cheers.